What is up, guys? Tony here from Geek Legion Games, and today we're here to talk about Grandis Kuwagamon, which, in my opinion, is probably the best OTK deck that we have in BT-09. We also do have some red cards here showing. It's purely green, but we will talk about later in the video how to tech in these cards right here, and if your local meta is playing a bunch of security control, being toxic players just sitting around doing nothing, and then you can just blow them out with this. Before we get into the deck profile, if you like these videos, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get on right on it. Alright, to start off the deck profile, we're just running 4 eggs in the form of Yokomon here. Basically, when you're going to Grandis and you're going to Digiburst, this is the Digimon you want to Digiburst to give it 2,000. So basically, when you go into Grandis, it's going to be 18,000, which no Digimon is going to be killing your Digimon here. Because also, a lot of people also will run these. We'll just skip here. Alphamon, this is when you're Digibursting, your Digimon is going to gain jamming. But once you're at the 18,000 threshold, you don't need jamming. Because there's no Digimon in the game that's at 1,800 that's killing your Digimon. So when we get to our level 3s, you will not be seeing this Digimon here. We'll be seeing others. But enough chit chat. Let's get to our level 3s. Alright, for our level 3s, we have our 3 Floodgates of Terriermon. We all know what this card does. Your opponents can't gain memory outside of Tamers. So basically all those Mem Boosts that Alphamon plays, or every deck now, every deck have Mem Boosts. This guy just says no. Up next we have Pomamon, I believe. We bumped this up to 2. We were just playing this at 1 because the players can't play Digimon by effects is just broken. Now that, we have Reaper that won the Otakon, thanks to Luca. Shout out to him. And the guy that just won, I think his name's Brandon, for the Ultimate Cup with Reaper. 2 different lists, of course, slightly different Digimon. D-Reaper is probably going to be on the rise and just taking all these store championships that's going out Saturdays and Sundays. So we need some to check that. So if we're swinging for 3 or 4 securities with Grandis, if they hit a D-Reaper and we have this on the field, it just doesn't do nothing. It's huge. Up next, we have Alphamon. Basically, as an inheritable, if this card is Digiburst, you just put it back in hand. This pretty much just gives us a guarantee Digimon. So we have our 3 Mimis out. You can tap 1, put it raising, get that guy there, draw a card, tap the other Mimi, push it out, swing for game. Basically, a hybrid. Then we have our singular Kokumon here. Once BT-10 comes around, this card will get replaced as a better version. Effects, what it can do, I don't know, but I was told that BT-10 there'll be a better one. But we have basically your turn of this as a level 6 or higher, gains security +1. Now you're also probably thinking like, oh, you're just going to Digiburst this, it doesn't matter. Well, when you pair it with these guys here, the X-Antibody version of him, on player when Digi-evolving, reveal the top 3 cards and add a machine or insectoid. This is a machine, you can find it. Outside that, you're just finding insectoids because there's beast, vegetation, and cyborg. So basically this is going to find your insectoid pieces, but you can Digi-evolve this in the raising if you want to, and you have another one in hand. Build the stack up. We are actually running this hybrid too. So when you get the stack high enough, you can actually have the Kokumon when you're Digibursting 4 under Akuamon and have 4 checks, which is huge, and we've done that a couple times today. This is it for our level 3s. On to our level 4s. Alright, to our level 4s, we have our Weedmon here, probably the best Digiburst green Digimon I can think of right now. Basically, when you trash this to Digiburst, gain a memory. So when you have your level 5 stack ready to go with Wakumon, yeah, I think that's his name right, but whatever. Basically, you can thrive off 1 memory, because with 1 memory, you gain 2 here, Digi-evolve up, you can do all shenanigans. We'll show that what the stack would look like towards the end of the video here. But basically, at 1 memory, if you're getting choked, whatever, you can push out with this, gain 2, or gain 1, and then just go up to Grandis and then just win the game. Up next for level 4s, we have our Kabuterimons. This is the blocker from the starter deck. It's got an Evo for 1, which is cute. Cheap Evos and 5k blocker. It's pretty huge. You're never going to want to attack with this because you'll just lose 2 memory, but it will serve as a blocker on the field if you really need it. If you get aggroed like Vmon, Imperials, and what have yous. And then for our last two cards, we have our hybrids, which is Metal Kabuterimon. Basically, it's another one Evo for the stack if you're building it up and raising. So basically, you can do one of these guys for one, and if you really want to just keep building up, look for a piece, another Evo for one. So you're making your stack bigger so you can Digiburst more. So this will be it for our level 4s. On to our level 5s. Alright, for our level 5s, we are running 8 Akuamons. We have the promo version here. This card basically comes from your upgrade packs. If you're lucky to get 4. Unfortunately for us, we had to just buy them. So unlucky for us. This guy is pretty up there in the price. I mean, he might have gone down, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, this Digimon has the effect when you Digivolve into an Insectoid, all your opponent's Digimon gain for the entire turn until the end of their turn. If they get suspended, you gain a memory. So when you go to its X-Antibody version, you're going to suspend something. Hopefully, they have a Digimon that's not suspended, because then you just lose out on an effect. But you're going to suspend some, and then when you attack, you can attack Security and redirect to a Digimon. Not viable with this, because if you just do that and you blow your whole stack away for only 8k, it just feels bad. So you're going to hold off the attack. That has a neat effect on your turn if this Digimon would Digivolve with an Insectoid trait, which it's going to be when your level 6s, reduce it by 1. So let's get to our level 6s and talk about that. Alright, for the level 6s and the last of our Digimon, running 4 of the promo Grand Kuwagamon here. This was, back in BT-5, I believe 4. I wasn't playing green at the time, but this guy was the original OTK, but with all these pieces, of course, now it's just way better. This guy has the main, you can Digiburst 2 to give this guy security +1. So basically, your eggs and then your Weedmons here will gain the effects of like gaining a memory, Lalamon effect, and then the egg effect bringing us to 2000. So this guy would be 1300, but once we get to its X-Antibody version, this card on your turn would be 18k, which is huge. So no Digimon is going to be killing this in the security, unless you go up against security control and they're putting negative effects on it, which then it's, it's going to put a damper. But giving that an extra 2k helps a lot. With this guy here is when Digivolving, you get to suspend a Digimon, and then you do the same effects as the Akuamon. You can choose target in your security and then switch over, because you'll have piercing in the source with our level 5. And then that's where you do all the checks. If you're lucky enough to have the, what's his name? I'll get him back out here real quick. If you got this guy out, if you have the right stacks and you have this and this in your stack, that's 4 checks. Easy. So you just basically win the game. Even with 3 checks, you can still win the game by attacking twice, because he also has at the end of the attack, as long as you have this guy or X-Antibody, which is the option version, you get to unsuspend him. So doing 3 or 4 checks, you're just blowing the security out of the way. You have your Mimi, you have your 2 Mimis, egg, hatch game, or hybrid. So that'll be it for our Digimon, and on to our Tamers. Alright, for our Tamers, we've been talking about Mimi so much, so let's get her out of the way. Everyone says this card's broken. I mean, it is, but it's not like overly broken. 4 memory, or it comes out of security, is a memory setter, so it'll put you to 3 every time. But as long as you have a level 5 or higher Digimon, you get to suspend her and just hatch an egg. So this is where if we have 2 out, you just, hatch 1. I've already said it before. You have a Digimon here, push out, you push 2, and you just win game. That's all she's there for. Then after that, our other 2 tamers are Analog Boys, or Analog Youth. I just like calling them Analog Boy. It should just be called Analog Boy. But anyway, this card is basically here just to search our pieces. So it's just a mini green memory boost. It is going to trash them, but all you're looking for is the pieces you're missing. That's all it's there for. And then, God forbid, if your Digimon stack does get deleted, if you don't have your Mimis out and you got this guy out, you can tap it, gain a memory, and then hatch. And it's still your turn, just Digivolve up. And it's another aggro piece, of course. I have also thought about, too, and making this a 3rd Analog Boy. Because basically, once you have 2 of these out, that's all you need. Having a 3rd one out really is not going to do you anything. Because if you have all 3 out, you can just hatch, push out, and hatch again. I mean, that's pretty cool. But for searching reason, because it's so reliant on searching, probably just make this a 3rd Analog Youth. But haven't really given them much testing. It's just thoughts. But that's all. That's what the comments for in this video. What do you guys think? 3 analog boy, 2 Mimi, or just run the 3rd Mimi and keep analog boys? But we could talk about this all day. Let's just get to our options. All right, for our options, deck wouldn't be here if it weren't for this card right here. I went trying to find a 4th memory boost. Unfortunately, just no one has it around me, so we just have to run that to 3. It's also another reason why I'm throwing the analog boys. Basically, main effect, if you play it from your hand, look at the top 4 cards and pull one of your pieces is basically it. And then it obviously has a delay effect for getting 2 memory. Then after that, we have 2 Electroshocker. Now, I am an Imperialmon favorite. I love Mega Death and all that, so this is the next closest thing to that, which basically is returning one of your opponent's suspended Digimon, so you can't just like target unsuspended, so it's got to be swinging in or just suspend on the field to bounce to the hand and trash all the sources. I'm trying to fit a 3rd one, which is probably going to be this X antibody option. It hasn't done me any justice, only because like you're not really swinging with your X antibody other cards other than Grandis, of course. But I have a feeling that like, and I'm not sure about it, if you have this on their Grand Kawagumon, you swing and then Digivolve into Grandis, that you probably can't switch attack after that because the attack is going. I could be wrong. If you know that info and I can have this in there, let me know in the comments, of course. Otherwise, I'll keep it in here. But if not, then this just becomes a 3rd Electroshocker, which is like basically 3 pseudo Megadeths. And speaking of, we are running a Ground Fang in here. Basically, if you play this for 8, you are in trouble. So this is pretty much like, we hope this isn't security because it's a bomb. For activate its effect, if it is in the security or you just play it from hand, return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon and one of their suspended Tamers to the bottom of their deck. So, you know, Alphamon players, if they didn't breath themselves like, oh, I'm going against green, there's no bounce effects, and they hit this, it's big sage. Pretty much a big blowout. It's just another Mega Death, but I'm looking to probably, with this whole X antibody situation here, just be this, and then up to this. And then, for our red package, before we end the video here, if you want to run red, basically, you can cut out the 2 Mimis and put this in, have 1 Mimi in, or if you don't like the analogs and you have 4 green Mammouths, you can just take the analogs out and have this in. And then for these options here, it can be any one of these 3 here. I mean, 4 actually, you can just do whatever. Most likely the X antibody will go and you just pick and choose here. Probably a Ground Fang, because you probably don't want to be playing this for 8. So those 2 there for this, and then pick and choose your Tamers. Obviously probably be the analog boys, of course, if you want to run the red package. But that would do it for the video here. I could sit here and explain the whole stack thing, whatever, but then I'm realizing it doesn't matter what the stack is, because it's not really super reliant like all the other decks are. You're basically just building up a good Digiburst stack for your Grandis to just swing the game. But what are your thoughts, comments, and concerns about the deck? Is it great? Is it not? I believe that this can be the cure for all those D-Reaper decks out there, because this could just come out of nowhere and just blow the security out of the water, or I could be completely wrong. But also, for SetCon, this is its worst nightmare. But like I said before, be sure to like and subscribe if you liked the video, and we'll see you next time, and don't forget to get your geek on.